Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 25 of overcoming injuries, and today I want to talk about the lean planche because I have a push day today. I've been training planche actually every day as of late, but lately I've been, experiencing a bit of hip pain in the saddle planche, and so I have to do something else. So, big panic. What should I do? I can't do a certain progression in the planche. Well, there in that case, lean planche is the answer because whether you are a complete beginner or a super advanced athlete, you can always use the lean planche because it's an adjustable progression. It's an all-encompassing progression. It can be easier than the tuck planche, but also harder than the actual full planche. And that's because, well, when you're in the lean planche position, the difficulty is determined by how much you lean. So at the moment, I am barely leaning, but if I go forward and forward and forward and forward and forward and forward, it starts to become very difficult, right? And that's why you can always use it. And especially when you're stuck on a plateau, let's say you're doing the tuck planche or the advanced tuck planche, and you're stuck on a plateau, well, you can use the lean planche to basically get past that plateau because you can adjust difficulty just to what you need. And you do it by measuring the distance of your lean. So in order to do that, put your feet, against a wall, and now you can measure the distance from the wall to your hands in order to measure your lean. So if I, place my hands here, very easy. Next time I know, oh, I'm on this line on the floor, I can go back a little bit, and suddenly it becomes very difficult. And with this lean planche, of course, you can do the holds, but like any progression, you can also do presses and push-ups. And today, actually, I'm gonna train the planche like I mentioned. I'm gonna divide it in a morning and evening session. So this morning, I am going to do some push-ups, and this evening, I am going to do some presses. So in the evening, I'll talk about how you can do the lean planche press properly, because there's a bit of a detail that is necessary in order to do it. But right now, first, let's talk about the push-up. So for the push-up in the lean planche, there is really only one thing that you need to be careful of, and that is when you are doing the push-up, the lean is important, right? And so oftentimes what you see people do, and that's a mistake, is you lean forward, you do the push-up, and then you come back up and the lean disappears. Why? It happens naturally because the less lean is an easier exercise. Your body tries to have an easier time, right? It doesn't want to go through this difficult position. So your biomechanics automatically make it so that you stop leaning. But you need to kind of pay attention to it. And that's why the wall is very beneficial as well, is because, well, if your feet are against the wall, suddenly, especially if your heels are against the wall, it's not possible anymore to kind of go back like this because then, well, you have your butt going upward. So I would recommend do your lean planche push-ups. If it's not against the wall, just make sure to focus on not losing your lean, especially when you're in the stretched arm position, in the top position. Don't lose your lean there because that's where you learn the full planche or the planche in general. But if you can, place your feet against the wall, measure the distance, whether it's, be the reference point or an actual meter, I guess. I don't know, like an actual measuring device. But yeah, this will allow you to train basically any difficulty in the planche, right? If you're stuck from tuck planche to advanced tuck planche, you can find some difficulty in between with the lean planche and do it. And that doesn't mean that the other progressions are useless because, well, when you're doing a tuck planche, for example, like this, your feet are up off the ground, you're having this extra balance aspect, but when it comes to pure power, lean planche is very handy. Anyway, I am going to do 5 sets of push-ups right now. I am not going to do saddle planche push-ups, so I'm going to do a mix of full planche push-ups and lean planche push-ups. Let's go. Holy shit! Alright, let's try some deep ones. Alright, I'll see you in the evening for some planche presses. Okay, it has become evening, so it's time for some planche presses. And first of all, I want to explain one little thing about the lean planche press, because it's a very useful exercise, but it's also very easy to do it in the wrong way. And so when you're doing your lean planche press, what you'll notice is you're pushing and your butt goes upwards. But what you want to avoid is that you just lift your butt, because, well, this is very easy, but it's more an ab exercise, a very weird ab exercise than it is a planche press. And so what you want to focus on instead is doing it with your hands. You want to, if you're in the lean planche, you want to focus on pushing your hands forward like this. You want to try and push them in that direction. And so it's gonna look the exact same thing when I do it, but I try to push forward. And as a result, well, my butt is lifting, but my butt is not the driving factor. My hands are the driving factor. That's where the power is being derived from. So anyway, that's something very important to pay attention to when you're doing these planche presses. For these ones, it's the same, right? You can use the wall as kind of a measurement. If your hands are close to the wall, it's gonna be more difficult. If they're further away, it's gonna be easier. But yeah, just make sure that you are pushing from your hands in that direction forward, and then you will be good to go. You will feel it in your shoulders and your biceps. I am gonna get ready for a max planche press sits with 2 kilos on my feet. So yeah, let's get hyped. I'll see you in a moment. Damn it. 5 presses will be for next time. Okie dokie, so there is a lot of pressure in my head right now. Feeling lightheaded, but that's gonna be it for today's training. I was originally planning on doing one more set of presses, but my shoulders are just feeling dead. And today's video is mainly about the lean planche, but I want to talk about something else. Today I split up my training in 2 parts. So I did 2 mini trainings, one for the push-ups and one for the presses. This is just something I'm trying to see if I can, spread the intensity around to basically have more intensity in my training without getting too much more tired. And well, whether it's gonna work or not, that's something I will find out later. But as of now, I feel like I've gotten a good planche stimulus today from which I'm gonna have to recover. So that's the main priority at the moment. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's training. If you don't try new things, you won't find out if they work. So if you have something in your mind that you wonder, is it gonna work or not, just try it out. What's the matter? It's not gonna hurt, right? Unless you get injured, but at least stay smart in your training. You get what I'm saying, right? If you fuck around, you will find out. So yeah, I'm gonna head downstairs, have some dinner, and I'll see you tomorrow for a pool day.